Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and yeah, welcome back to another video. This is going to be part 6 and of course part 3 of the B section of my CD shelf by shelf collection overview, hip hop collection overview. Yeah, so I kind of broke up the rest of the shelf into two. It's either going to be two shorter videos or one long ass one. I just feel like the shorter ones might work for this section. There's just a lot to get through. So, but without further ado, let's get right into this here. First up here is Blood of Abraham, Idolatry. This was actually a group that was originally signed to Ruthless Records, a white Jewish hip hop group. That's right, signed to Ruthless Records, Ruthless Records, Eazy-E's Ruthless Records, believe it or not. It's crazy. They put out an album called Future Prophets in like 91 or 92. Maybe it might have been a little bit later, maybe 93 or something like that. But it was a really dope record. Got some really dope shit on that record. Highly recommend Future Prophets if you guys get a chance to check that one out. This one came out, I think the first album was in 93. This one came out in 2000 originally. This is the re-release in 2005 that actually has the DVD and stuff. Definitely not as good as their debut album. But there is some good tracks on here. There's a couple features from will.i.am on here, which is pretty cool. But the title track, Idolatry, is probably my favorite track on the album, actually. It's really dope. But definitely a different vibe on this one, obviously being so much later, 7 years later. Of course, it's going to be different. Production's a lot different, but still pretty interesting, to say the least. There's not too many Jewish hip-hop groups out there that aren't comedic. I know there's the Two Live Jews, I believe, which is like a comedic group. I've actually never really heard the music. I've only ever heard the name. So fill me in if that stuff is even worth checking out. I really highly doubt it is. But anyways, onto some Blueprint, 1988 concept album. I love Blueprint, man. Super underrated. He's a dope MC. He's a dope producer. Just absolutely love the vibe on this record, man. Boombox. Oh, I love that track. 1988, Anything is Possible. Really dope record. Highly recommend 1988 from Blueprint. And then we got, oh man, what is the name of this album here? Adventures in Counterculture. This album was okay. I do actually need to pick up a couple other Blueprint albums that came out before this. This one was okay. It's been a minute since I've listened to it, obviously. But yeah, when did this one come out? 2000, what is it, 2011? Yeah, so it's been out for a minute, but yeah, it's been a minute on that one. But fans of Blueprint know what's up with Blueprint. He's dope. The Blue Scholars, man. Yeah, Blue Scholars, man. Really awesome album. Self-titled. From, I can't remember what year this one came out. Maybe it's on the back here. 2004, 2005. Midwest, or not Midwest group, but more northern Seattle area. From Seattle. Dope album, man. Really good stuff here. This shit like really floored me when I first heard it. I couldn't believe it, man. It's funny about that region, the Seattle region. There's so many different types of groups and different sounds that come out of there. I mean, everything from Sir Mix-a-Lot to I mean, even the Boom Bap Project, which I think actually be in this shelf, actually. Yep. But Blue Scholars, highly recommend that album. Really good stuff right there. Here's the Long March LP, or EP, I should say, actually. Not LP. But some more good stuff from the Blue Scholars, 2005. So this one came out right around the same time as their debut. Good stuff. Okay, this is just bugging me. This is really tight in here. All right, so Blue Scholars, Biani. This was actually put out on Ruckus Records, believe it or not. Still really good. Really good stuff here. It's one of the later Ruckus Records releases. Actually, probably one of the last ones, to be honest. I'm not quite sure on that, but it's definitely one of the last ones. Cinematropolis. This one was definitely interesting. Different sound. They went for more of a... The sound is different on this one a little bit, but still pretty cool. 2011. A little bit after the fact, but yeah, good stuff. I don't know what those guys have been up to these days. I haven't really checked for them in a long time. So we got the Blue Sky Black Death Dirt Nap mixtape. This was, I believe... I think this came as a bonus disc in one of their original releases. I can't remember. I got this from Underground Hip Hop. From something. I can't actually remember. But anyways, it's really dope though. It's really dope. The Blue Sky Black Death. Sorry. There's just, when you get into these CDs, man, there's so many slip line or little thin lines and digipacks and it's everything just doesn't sit properly in the shelves. Blue Sky Black Death produced this album for the Holocaust. You know, I love the beats on this record. I'm not really the hugest fan of Holocaust, to be honest. He takes some warming up to get into a little bit. It took me definitely a bunch of listens, but I really love the beats on this. Really good shit, man. Blue Sky Black Death, very, very underrated production crew, man. They've got so many different types of styles. It's actually quite crazy. So I did have to pick up the instrumentals because I love the instrumentals. Really dope stuff here. So then they went and did an album with Hellraiser called the RZA's Ladder, and it's just fantastic. This is a amazing record. When did it come out? 2007. Oh, it's dope, man. Shabazz the Disciple on there. We got some Ill Bill, Sabak Red, Crooked Eye, Prodigal Son. You know, all the guys that you would expect to kind of see on here. Really amazing cinematic sounding record. Oh, it's awesome. It's so good. Really, really good. Here's the instrumentals. It's actually still sealed. I picked this just recently, like a few months back or something. You see the case came all smashed up. That's very, very common for my mail, for my postage. Yeah, so if I ever want to check out the instrumentals, definitely give that one a shot. Here's an actual instrumental record called Late Night Cinema from Blue Sky Black Death. This shit is beyond classic. It's absolutely fucking amazing. It's so... Cinematic is a great adjective to describe this, really. It's so good, man. If you listen to instrumental record, and it's not like your typical kind of like hip-hop instrumental, like boom bap kind of thing, like, you know, loopy. It's so different. It's very... it's cinematic is what it is, man. Late Night Cinema. It makes complete sense. It's so good. So good to vibe to. I've introduced that to a lot of people and they all thanked me. So check it out if you've never checked it out. Blue Sky Black Death, Jean Grey, The Evil Genius. This is kind of a controversial project, I think, because basically when Jean Grey was signed to Baby Grande, they obviously recorded a bunch of stuff and those verses end up getting put onto some Blue Sky Black Death production. This was never meant to be a record. Baby Grande put it out anyways as The Evil Genius, so it's kind of a copy and paste record where it still sounds really damn good because the production's amazing. Jean Grey is one of my favorite female MCs of all time. I absolutely love Jean Grey. She's brilliant. Rest in peace to Blackistan on there. Never... just saddens me every time I have to say that, but this is actually surprisingly really good for an album that was never meant to be. So I did grab the instrumentals of it because I like the instrumentals. I really do. It's good stuff. Then we got Slow Burning Lights, which was a completely different sound for Blue Sky Black Death. When they do their instrumental records, they're quite different. This one wasn't as good as Late Night Cinema, but definitely a different vibe. I still dug it. I still thought it was really, really good. Then we got Third Party. This album was bizarre because it's got like these really weird vocal samples, and it's just this one right here. For people that have checked out their instrumental stuff and then got to this one, they're like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened?" kind of thing. It's kind of one of those moments where I think that they are actually sampling themselves on here, singing and shit, and it's. To be honest, it sounds a little bit corny to me. I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of it. But then they totally fucking redeemed themselves with another instrumental album called Noir. And this is phenomenal. Like, really damn good, man. Again, it's very cinematic sounding. It's just so worth your time if you're into instrumental stuff. It's great late night stuff to put on in your headphones and just vibe to. Even if you want background shit with having some, you know, scotch with your friends or some elevated liquors or something. I don't know how to do it, but I love Noir. It's fantastic. And then they came out with Glaciers. I think that they might even have a couple more after. I know they did a bunch of stuff with Nacho Picasso and stuff, which I don't really think has any physical releases. I'm not really the biggest Nacho Picasso fan. He's also from Seattle. This is awesome. This is very interesting. It looks like kind of looks like a short album, you know, with 5 songs. It's not. Each one of these is like 7 to 10 minutes long. This is actually really long. It's phenomenal. So many beat changes, so many great stuff going on here. Highly recommend it. Really good stuff. All right, so we're getting into some boutique stuff here with 90s tapes from Germany, HHV. The Blunted Crew, the Triangle. Oh, man, I was so happy to see this get a release. I'm not sure if this was ever actually released back in the day. Someone fill me in on that info. I do know if it was or not. I just can't remember if it was. I think it may have had a minor release back in the 90s when it actually was supposed to come out or did come out. This is really dope. 90s boom bap, the Triangle, really, really good stuff. I think it's still in print. Like, the thing is with all these 90s tapes releases, these CDs, like the vinyl, they're all limited. Tapes are usually limited to 100. CDs are usually like 300 to 350. Vinyl, it varies from like 3 to like 1,000 to 1,200. So if you're interested in these, definitely get up on them before you're paying those third market prices that are ridiculous. But body count, this is the release this was the Canadian release, I believe. So I actually didn't have Cop Killer on it. I don't think that was ever released in Canada. I don't know. I can't remember or not if it was, but I should hunt down a copy that actually has Cop Killer on it someday. But I did get this right about the time it came out, and it was the copy I got, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, anyways, body count. Amazing Ice-T stuff, man. I always love this record. It's so much fun. So many great tracks on here. Yeah, there goes the neighborhood. KKK bitch always cracks me up, man. That song's fucking awesome. Body Count's Born Dead, the follow-up album. Came out a couple years later. Definitely not as good, but, it was fun. One thing that they like to do is always have a cover song on their Hate Show, of course, is the Jimi Hendrix song. This one's it's an interesting album. There's more like chanting. It's not Ice-T kind of ripping rhymes, and a little bit. Street Lobotomy always made me laugh. That track, the lyrics always killed me. It's funny as hell, but like Body Motherfucking Count, just repeat that shit for 2 minutes 14 seconds. It's amazing. It's awesome. If you like Ice-T, I fucking love Ice-T. Violent Demise, The Last Days. This was a totally different sound for Body Count. It's been a minute since I've listened to this, actually. I remember not liking this when it first came out, and then years later revisiting it and going, actually, this is pretty fucking cool, man. I don't mind it. So, yeah, Violent Demise. I think that was in 99, I think, or something like that. Murder for Hire. This is one that was a little bit tougher to get into. It was like 2006, so it was years later. It took a lot of time off from doing the Body Count stuff. I know obviously Ice-T's into, doing the Law and Order and all those movies and stuff, which is awesome. Commercials. He still does a lot of shit. This one, it's been a minute since I listened to it, but it wasn't really my favorite. Cool artwork though. Gotta love that shit. Then they came back with Manslaughter, which is pretty fucking dope, man. Like, honestly, this one was pretty good. 2014, so this one was, again, years and years later after that album. And then they started this album run of really great albums, man. Yeah, this one's hard, man. It's just hard. Really, really good, hard, like, kind of New York style, like, fucking hardcore punk, like metal. It's interesting. Body Count, Bloodlust. This is fucking awesome, man. Like, This Is the Way We Ride. There's some awesome songs on here, man. Man, like, Ice-T and Body Count just got so hard at this moment. I think it was amazing. Yeah, Civil War with Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Max Calvaria from Sepultura, I believe. Yeah, really good shit, man. And then their latest album, Carnivore, which is fucking batshit awesome again. Like the Ace of Spades, that Motorhead cover on there. And then they did an updated version of Colors, which is obviously a Ice-T cover, basically. No Remorse. Oh, man, this album is it's just amazing. It's super good. I hope that Body Count continues along this line of like this sound right here and puts out another record. Yeah, it's crazy. Ice-T's still killing it at his age, man. It's nuts. Criminal Minded, Boogie Down Productions, rest in peace to Scott LaRock. Yeah, Criminal Minded is, it's classic. I won't front though, man. I hate the song Dope Beat, man. The AC/DC sample on that, I just can't stand it. It drives me nuts. I mean, this album's full of classic singles, but then it's got Dope Beat on there. I'm just like, it drives me nuts when I listen to this album. But, it's Criminal Minded. It's classic material. Anybody people that are watching this don't have to have an explanation for Criminal Minded. This is my personal favorite Boogie Down Productions album, by all means necessary. I love the artwork on this, and I love this album. Like, from My Philosophy to Illegal Business, I'm Still Number One, Jimmy. Oh man, everything on here is just so amazing. I think this one flows a lot better than Criminal Minded. I think it's a step up. So this is Scott La Rock was killed while doing this record, unfortunately. Yeah, good shit. Then The Blueprint came out, Ghetto Music, The Blueprint of Hip Hop. Again, I always love this artwork too, man. It's fucking awesome. It's one thing, man. KRS-One always had great artworks on his albums. Jack of Spades, man. Oh, why is that? You Must Learn. I heard someone say the other day that this album was terrible. I was like, what? Like, I don't think I can associate the word terrible with any Boogie Down Production album. Even Sex and Violence, I don't think is terrible at all. It's different sounding, but it's also a different era. It's good, man. It's good. I like this album. I always really love this album, Entertainment. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with, like, sometimes they get frustrated with, like, interludes and stuff like that. But the interludes make sense on this record. It's 21 tracks. There's, like, you know, all these exhibits or little interludes and stuff. But it's good. I like this record. It's not, like, the biggest single album, believe it or not. Love's Gonna Get You, obviously, is very, very famous from KRS-One. I love the Kenny Parker Show, man. I think the Kenny Parker Show, didn't they do a remix on the Exhibit Restless album? It was the Kenny Parker song, or Kenny Parker Show 2000 version with KRS-One. Yeah, I'm positive that's on the Restless album. I like this record. Some people don't. I do. It is what it is. And then Sex and Violence, which most people consider this one to be the worst Boogie Down Production album. I think it's actually quite fun. Got some Freddie Fox on there. It's got a totally different sound. Actually, I like that song, Rough Rough. It's dope. Drug Dealer, Build and Destroy. There's some cool songs on here, man. Love the artwork. And then that was it for the Boogie Down Production, actually studio albums and stuff. Here's the best of the B-Boy sessions, which is definitely worth owning. There's a lot of cool stuff on here, as you can see. Different mixes, got some D-Nice on there. Different 12-inch versions and stuff of tracks. Definitely worth owning. Pretty cool. So, yeah. Getting into some Bone Thugs. I do not have Bone's first album, The Faces of Death record. I've only ever seen one copy in my life, and my buddy actually back in the 90s found one at an HMV, I believe in Alberta somewhere, and purchased it. And I always thought it was terrible. I couldn't even listen to it. I don't know what it was. The first time I heard it was after Eternal 1999 came out, East 1999 Eternal. And so I had this in Eternal, and I went back to that, and I was like, it does sound pretty elementary. But I'd like to get a copy for collector's sakes. It just goes for ridiculous money, but, you know, this is the shit that really broke out Bone with Thuggish Ruggish Bone, man. No Surrender, Down from a Thing, Creeping on a Come Up, For Love of Money, which was actually the second time that beat had been used from Ruthless Records. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so dope EP though. Good stuff. This is the original release of East 1999 Eternal, which doesn't even have the, I guess, the Crossroads remix. I should actually pick up a copy of that just to have the video version or the remix, however you want to classify it. But I love this record, man. Like, when this came out in the summer of 95, this was the album. I remember, I think there was 5 or 6 of us close friends that all bought it on the same day. It was nuts. Like, everybody had a copy of this. It was just that popular. So, shouts to the Double Clock, man, and Mo Murder. I love those tracks, man. So dope. 97's The Art of War. Yeah. Which, you know, double discs were, I guess, kind of a little bit popular that year with Biggie's Life After Death. And the first disc on here is amazing, man. Like, looking at my eyes, I love that track. And Body Rod's probably my favorite track. I love that track. And then the second disc is definitely a step down. Thug Love with Pac was always interesting. But it's a lot slower. It feels like a lot of filler on it and stuff. I don't know. It's still overall pretty decent. It's been a while since I've actually listened to the second disc. But Bone Thugs and Harmony, Resurrection, which I believe was in 2000, yeah. This album right here, man. I remember when I was in music school, doing music production. And this album came out, and my roommate was obsessed with this album. Like, we're talking about, I don't even, like, I think I bought it, listened to it a couple times, and that guy had this album for like that whole fucking school year, man. Yeah, he loved this one. It was crazy. It's got some good tracks on it. I actually still really like it. Thug World Order. Yeah, this one right here was, I don't know, I felt like it was kind of a big step down. But, you know, it is what it is. What was it, 2002? Still on Ruthless at the time. It's kind of crazy, actually. It's got the song Home with the Phil Collins hook on there. Kind of interesting. And they didn't just sample that. They actually got, like, Phil Collins was involved in that too, because I know that he got him to like rewrite some songs or lyrics and stuff like that. There's like a story behind it, just so to put his name on there. It's kind of interesting. Bone for Life. I think this was an exclusive to one of their websites. It actually is official. I wasn't sure when this thing first came out if it was just one of those kind of gray market releases, but I'm pretty sure it's like a compilation of stuff. Yeah, as you can see, there's no Busy on there. I believe that Thug Stories is another compilation of stuff that came out around this time. Bone has a lot of compilations of stuff that they'd recorded throughout the years and oddball projects and shit. This was okay. It just feels like stuff that was left off of records and whatever. Strength and Loyalty. This album sounded like super, super poppy. I know a lot of people really like this. It definitely has some catchy shit on here. Again, no Busy on here. Which is kind of a shame because Busy adds so much flavor to the group. But, yeah. It's okay for what it was. I think this is another kind of compilation Thugs. I think I picked this one up on eBay or something. Must have been a promo copy at one time. Again, I wasn't even sure, and yeah, it is official, but it's like a compilation. I remember it being okay. It's kind of whatever. Uni 5, The World's Enemy. When they fully got back together, this album is not very good, to be honest. At times it feels super forced. The beats aren't great. I just wish they go back to doing stuff with Unique. I think Unique might have even produced on it, or maybe he did. I can't remember, but nothing is as bad as this shit though. This Bone Thugs New Waves album. I think this was just Crazy and Busy. Oh, this is horrible. And it's like it's not Bone Thugs and Harmony, so it's just these two. Of course, it's featuring Lazy and Wish and Flesh and everybody else. But man, this is bad. Like, there isn't one good song on this. This is one of the worst fucking albums I've ever heard. It's horrible. Beats, choruses, like everything just sucks about this. It's terrible. I could not believe how bad that was. Boogie Monsters, Riders of the Storm, the Underwater album. Oh man, I absolutely love this album. I was listening to this just a couple weeks back again. It's so good. It's so amazing. Recognize Thresholds of Negative Stress is so amazing. But it's got such a unique sound to this. The way this album is mixed and the production on it is so interesting. If you know anything about production and like mastering and mixing, it's very unique sounding. It's actually hard to explain. Very underrated album. Very, very underrated album. This album actually got a re-release from 90s tapes on vinyl, which I actually do have the vinyl. This is the original CD of God Sound. Underrated sophomore album, man. It's really good. Like, I hadn't listened to it in years, and then when 90s Tapes was putting it out, I decided to go pop this shit back in, and I was like, damn, this is really good. I completely had forgot how dope this was. So, Boogie Monsters, 2 albums and done kind of thing, man. I mentioned the Boom Bap Project earlier, Reprogram, another Seattle group. I love this record, man. Gifted Gab, rest in peace. Ira Science. We got on there Lifesavers on here, man. That's dope. Checkmate from Canada. We got some Grayskull. I think it was actually Grayskull's actually from Seattle too. So got some connections there to Canada and Seattle. Seattle's, like right across the border. Been there many, many times in my life. Good album though. Really, really good. I used to play that a lot on my radio show actually when it came out. Then we got the Boot Camp Click album, For the People. This album, there was so much anticipation for this record when it came out, and it's kind of uniform to the fans that like it's pretty much a letdown. even though there is some dope tracks, like Night Riders is dope on here. Illinois is really dope. There's some good songs. It just felt super, super underwhelming considering what we had from the first 4, the first albums that had come out. I think we were all expecting just a little bit more. 97 just, yeah. It's still good though. I can still listen to it. It's pretty good. Then we got Boot Camp Click, The Chosen Few. Rock actually wasn't, he had kind of departed from the Boot Camp Click at this time. I can't remember the reasons. I do know, I just can't remember. Somebody enlighten me on that. But he had left the group at the time. And this is about the time where Sean P was kind of becoming the Sean P that we know as of today. Because as we know, like Sean P was a different rapper in the Hell to Skelta days, in the first 2 Hell to Skelta records. And then this is kind of where he kind of started to become a little bit more of the Sean P. I enjoy this. It's not great. It's kind of unfortunate, like really none of the Boot Camp albums ever kind of panned out as being classics or nothing, but that one was okay. This album was kind of underwhelming because of the production lineup on it. The Boot Camp Click, The Last Stand, which was not The Last Stand. This album right here, crazy production, man, from Ninth Wonder, Beat Miners, Pete Rock, Large Pro, Marco Polo, a couple others are on there. Some good tracks, a little bit underwhelming. Unfortunately, but still definitely worth your time though. And then this one right here, Casualties of War, I think was also very similar production. It had the Beat Miners, it had Marco Polo, it had Ninth Wonder on there, a few other cats and stuff. And it has its songs, but yeah, I apologize for my dogs. They're just annoying the shit out of me. It's okay. Yes, on to the scariest hip hop group of all time, Booyah Tribe. New Funny Nation, and man, like these guys just look batshit. They always look. They just got so fucking gangster looking throughout their career. It's actually the only Booyah Tribe album I have, but I always like this album. I know a lot of people don't really care for them, but I haven't really heard many albums after this. But they always look so fucking freaky to me. Man, they're just gangsterfied. Bored Stiff from the Ground Up, group from San Francisco, I believe. Really good records, man. These are awesome. Got some Sunspot on there. Got some Dell. Yeah, man. Really good. Underrated group. This is really good too, man. Get a Research from Bored Stiff. Some more Sunspots. Some PSC on there. Yeah, good stuff. Boss, Born Gangsters. As you can see, I got this obviously years after it was out of print. This was only like $5 or $6. I believe I got this from Amoeba. Amoeba in San Francisco, actually, oddly enough. It was super cheap. I had to grab this though, man. The story behind Boss is hilarious. Like, does a straight up gangsterfied album and then her backstory comes out. Oh my god, it totally killed her career. I think like she grew up like kind of wealthy, and I can't remember the whole thing, but it was just kind of funny. I still like the album, actually. It's not bad for what it is. The Boss Hog Barbarians, Every Hog Has His Day. J-Zone, self-titled. Oh my god, this album is so funny. Oh, if you're a fan of J-Zone and self-titled together, it's pure hilarity. Like, there's a song on here called Cocksucker. Like, are you fucking with me? Yeah, no, this is really fun. This is a really fun album. We got some Bounty Killer here. This is like the only album I own. It's like dancehall, reggae shit. This is not one of the better ones. I need to get some of the early Bounty Killer records, man. This is like from 98. It's not really my favorite. I'm not really the biggest dancehall fan, but I like the earlier stuff, though. Be Real, Smoke and Mirrors. It was a decent album. This period, man. I don't know, man. There was a lot of stuff that, Cypress Hill was dropping, Be Real. I wasn't really that much into. It's okay. It's been a minute since I've listened to it. I always like the album cover's dope, though. Braille. Good record, man. Really good. Is it called The Fourth Braille? Or The Fourth Edition. That's what it is. Yeah, this is good. Really, really good. I think Braille might be a Christian rapper, actually. I think so. But, yeah, good record, though. Brain Sick Mob, Unreleased Sickness, a group home, the group that they had kind of brought to the table. after they got put on from, I think from Gru actually got them on. From Smoke On Records out of Germany. Good stuff here, man. Really good stuff. From the 90s fucking hardcore boom bap. Onto some brand Nubian, One For All. Classic record, man. Classic record. Grand Puba. Oh, man. Puba's so dope on this, man. Like, Dedication is so sick. This whole album is, the vibe is just amazing. Yeah, Lord Jamar, Sadat X. It's good shit. And then, of course, Puba left the group, and they continued along without him. Put out In Gods We Trust. And this album, I actually like this album more than the first one. It's so hard to say, but man, Past the Gat and Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down are like two of my favorite songs, man. I love this record. It's a lot harder. It's a lot different sounding, but they came so correct on this. Jamar and Sadat X just fucking murdered this shit, man. Love this album. And probably one of my most played albums from this time, man. Like, Brand Nubian is Everything Is Everything. I don't know, there's something about this album, the vibe on here. I love the beats. The Lick the Motherfuckers remix, the original song was on the Menace to Society soundtrack, which I do prefer the original one, but great album though, man. I love Word Is Bond. All that's dope. Step in the Cypher's dope. A lot of good tracks on here, man. Claiming I'm a Criminal is just Lord Jamar doing his thing, man. But very political. Brand Nubian Foundation, and they come back here. Grand Puba back on the record, of course, by naming it Foundation, which the group seemed to do that. I know the Ghetto Boys put an album called Foundation after they got back together. The Return, so dope, so dope. Good record. I think this is kind of like, I don't even think this is like the original version of the album. I think we'll kind of get to that in a minute. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. I can't remember the whole story, but then they return with Fire in the Hole, which, you know, it was okay. Early 2000s stuff, 2004, okay. From Baby Grande. This is the time when Baby Grande was putting out a lot of shit, man. It has a couple joints on there. And then we got Time Is Running Out, which is basically a bunch of songs in cuts and things like that I believe were like the original versions that were supposed to be on the Foundation. I don't know, somebody stepped in on the Foundation, kind of re-edited, and not re-edited, but just did different versions. There is a story to this, but some of these songs I think were originally supposed to be on the Foundation. Anyways, they put out this compilation, Time Is Running Out. Some really good stuff on here. Really good stuff on here, so definitely worth checking out. Then we got the brand new Heavies, Heavy Rhyme Experience Volume 1. This was cool, man. You know, the brand new Heavies, a funk kind of soul group, and you know, they had MCs rhyming on their shit. Got some fucking main source, Gangstar, Grand Puba, Master Ace, Jamalski, Cool G Rap, Black Sheep, Edo G. Yeah, this is actually really fun. This is really fun. I enjoy that. And last up for the shelf, and every time I show this off, people are always like, what the fuck? Are you serious, bro? You know what? I never picked this up until a few years back, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, because I was terrified of listening to it. I just thought it was going to be horrendous. And then I looked into it a little bit and saw who was on production, and I was like, you know what? This is kind of interesting. So, of course, Brian Austin Green from 90210, One Stop Carnival, and this album sounds like vintage Farside because it's got Farside production on it. It really is a good album. It's so surprising to say, but just, you know, put your hater attitude away and check it out, man, because it took me so long to convince myself, because I was the same way. I was like, I'm not checking out that shit. That's garbage. And then I was like, whoa, this is actually really fucking good, man. If you like the Farside, you're going to love this album, man. It's the same vibe. It's literally the same vibe. It's crazy. Highly recommend it, though. Really, really good. Shockingly good stuff. All right, so we're going to stop right there. I'll finish up with parts 4 of the B's in the next part here. Man, I've been picking up so much stuff. Like, just kind of stacking up over here and shit like that. I actually just got that new Young Murder Squad album, man. Oh, so good. So good. I was so happy to get a copy of that because, yeah, I didn't get one when it came out in 96. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for part 6 here. Leave comments down below. Like the conversation. And yeah, check you guys later. And as usual, deuces.